Hello, this is Ivan Bamford here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I'm here today to talk to you about the permutations and modulations of the Songo. So I just want to say beforehand, if you're not familiar with any of these, with the Songo or permutations or modulations, then go check it out on YouTube. There's all sorts of great videos. There's even a documentary on the Songo, so go have fun with that. And if you're familiar with all this, then we can proceed. What I did was I did all the permutations of the Songo. And if you're thinking of the Songo like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, then that's 2 bars of 4/4, and the smallest subdivision is eighth notes. So you have 16 permutations of the Songo. So you have hours of pleasure with that and all sorts of things to discover. And I just want to say too that you can do this with any beat you want. If you're working through your stick control and your syncopation and you're having a good time but looking for something a little different, then check out permutations of any beat you're comfortable with. So I'm just going to show you the Songo. And then I'm going to move to the first permutation, which is moving everything back an eighth note. And then I'm going to orchestrate that a bit. I'm going to move my hands around the kit. And then I'll go back to the Songo. And then I'll go to the last permutation, which is moving everything ahead an eighth note. And I'll orchestrate that a bit. And then I'll go back to the Songo. Okay? Give this a shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was just 2 examples of 15 possible permutations of the original Songo. So you have all sorts of things to discover in that. And in terms of application, you can use them for fills. You can use them if everybody's comfortable with what you're doing in the band. You can accompany soloists by going into these. Or if you compose, you can base sections of tunes on that, on a permutation of a beat too. So there's all sorts of things you can use these for. But then I put all these permutations over the triplet. So what happens then? Well, I'll tell you what happens. It becomes a big triplet over 4 bars. And you play the Songo 3 times over 4 bars. So the triplet just by itself is like this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then in between each of these hits of my drumsticks, there is 1 Songo beat. So now I'm going to just play the original Songo for 4 bars, and then I'll modulate to the triplet, and then I'll go back. 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, there are 16 of these. And so that was just the original one. And so what I did was I'd be going through all of these permutations and all these modulations, going back and forth between 4 bars and 4 bars. And that's all good. That's fun, but it started to feel a little bit blocky. Started to feel a bit too much like an exercise, even though it is an exercise. So the next thing I did was I started to modulate before the one. So you have a little pickup into the one. You're leading into the one. And so that way I thought it would sound a bit more organic. So now I'm going to show you again the last permutation like I did earlier. And I'm going to lead into it with pickup. And when I go back to eighth notes, I'm going to lead into that too. And this time I'm going to slow down. Like the last songo I did, I sped up and I went up to the eighth note triplet. Now I'm going to slow down and I'm going to go to the quarter note triplet. The songo into the permutation, into the modulation, back to the permutation. So, again, that's just flowing in. Hopefully that illustrated flowing into the one a little bit more this time. And again, all sorts of options with all these permutations. So that's what I got up to, where I started using this pickup to modulate. And then I was like, okay, well, this is great, but what am I going to use all this for? And you might be asking that too. This is great, but what can I use all this for? Well, I'll tell you that when you go into triplets like that, you're actually playing in 12/8, right? And what else is in 12/8? Jazz. Jazz is in 12/8. So maybe at some point you might be able to throw something out of these songo modulation permutations into your jazz. So I'll just show you a little couple of little throwing a little bit of songo into the jazz. Okay, so here we go. So, you know, might start sounding a little hip, might start sounding a little bit in a Sheet Waitsy, Tom Rainey-ish, you know. So, you know, when you get comfortable with that and you have a bit of space, you can throw that in there, and that can just be another expansion of your vocabulary. And again, with 16 modulations, 4 bars each, you have 64 bars of potential phrases, and you can reduce. You don't have to be thinking in blocks of 4 bars all the time. You can just take little snippets of all these things as little mini phrases of 1 bar or 2 bars or even less than 1 bar. Sometimes there's little that you can just throw in anywhere, right? So that's about it for this video. Hope you got something out of it. Again, songo, permutation, modulation, but any beat, you can do the same thing too. So I'm going to come back the next time. It's going to be another video on this same principle, but I'm going to take a beat that's 12/8, and I'm gonna modulate it to the 8th note, and we're gonna see what happens then. So until then, happy practicing, and I'll see you again soon.